We are taking you into the news right now with Fox 45 News Feed. It's 11 a.m. Johns Hopkins University plans to restart its efforts to develop its own police force. How you can make your thoughts on the issue known during a meeting happening tonight. A war of words between Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby and Attorney General Brian Frosh. How their disagreement could impact the Adnan Syed case. And we're learning disturbing new details about a homemade bomb that was found near a Baltimore County school. The couple now under arrest, and who tipped off police. Fox 45 News Midday starts now.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News Midday.
Thanks for joining us for Fox 45 News Midday. I'm Patrice Sanders. Johns Hopkins University is resuming its efforts to develop its own police force. It is part of a new partnership with the Baltimore Police Department. As Shannon Lilly tells us, the first of 3 public town halls on the issue is set for tonight.
Well, this would be a joint effort between city police and campus police to really monitor and keep the university area safe. And today, you will have the opportunity to come out here to Johns Hopkins University for the very first town hall to learn more about this. Take a look at the timeline here. Tonight's town hall starts at 6 p.m. It will be live streamed from Shriver Hall on the Homewood Peabody campus. Now, the other 2 will happen next Thursday, and then there will be another town hall on Friday. After that, City Council will have a 30-day period to review and comment on the plan. Then the Memorandum of Understanding will be finalized and posted online. By spring into fall of 2023, the Johns Hopkins Police Department will begin recruitment and training. Then, tentatively, campus police are set to be deployed on the Homewood, Peabody, and East Baltimore campuses in the 2023-2024 school year. Not everyone, though, is on board with the plan. You'll remember back in 2020, Johns Hopkins shelved this idea of developing campus police after strong backlash from students in the surrounding community. But Hopkins says it has listened to the community's feedback, so the private police will be relatively small with no more than 100 personnel. How this is going to work, though, according to the current Memorandum of Understanding, is that city police would still investigate major incidents and crimes that happen right here on campus, like assaults, homicides, and rapes. But we do know that campus police would be responsible for patrolling the streets at the university, and they would also be the ones that would handle cases like thefts and burglaries. Reporting at Johns Hopkins University, I'm Shannon Lilly, Fox 45 News, Midday.
11:03, here's a look now at today's top trending stories. Trending number 1, we're learning the names of the Carroll County couple who was arrested after a homemade bomb was found outside a Baltimore County school on Tuesday. Husband and wife Joseph and Kristen Vickery, pictured here. According to court papers, the homemade device found outside Pine Grove Elementary School could be set off remotely. Police say the wife told them that Joseph began researching how to make explosives after a fight with her mother. The mother-in-law is the one who tipped police off. Trending number 2, friends and family of murder victim Kenneth Gersley have added $80,000 to the reward for information leading to the arrest and indictment of the people responsible for his death. The total reward, combined with Metro Crime Stoppers, now stands at $88,000. Gersley was shot and killed in January of last year while servicing an ATM at a convenience store on Brighton Street in West Baltimore.
He was innocently doing his job. He was at work. There's no justice here. There's no understanding this, and that's why we're here, because there are people who shouldn't be walking around the streets for our community, for your community, in any community.
As Kenny's brother, we're biological brothers, but I can tell you from being out there going into Kenny's locations for business, he had many brothers, and they're everybody. He was the same to everybody, and we're just looking for justice, and we need your help to do that.
Baltimore City Police say they have not received any new leads in the case. Trending number 3, Barks Animal Shelter in Baltimore City is back open today after an attempted armed robbery. Police say an employee was held at gunpoint while trying to leave work. The suspects, believed to be just children. Barks says it will have increased security measures today. Trending number 4, a Baltimore resident is asking for help after reporting her dog stolen. Miniature Schnauzer JB was tied up outside of a coffee shop at the Cross Street Market after his owner was told that only service dogs were allowed inside. Well, she tried to keep an eye on him, but someone walked away with JB. Surveillance images were shared and a flyer is being circulated. You can find both on foxbaltimore.com. Trending number 5, an issue with his right elbow kept Lamar Jackson limited at Ravens practice on Tuesday. Jackson did not throw during the media viewing portion of practice, but he and Coach Harbaugh both stated that he will be good to go on Sunday. Now the Ravens head to New England Sunday for Week 3. Kickoff right here on Fox 45 at 1 p.m. The Maryland Terrapins also have a huge game on their hands. After starting 3-0 for the second straight year, they're going up to the Big House to take on the Michigan Wolverines. That game is featured as Fox's Big Noon Saturday, and that will air right here on Fox 45. Still ahead, the season premiere of The Masked Singer, and it was a double unmasking. The NTSB is out with new recommendations to prevent drunk driving, the changes it wants to see to all new cars. But first, the New York AG is taking on the Trump family, the new lawsuit that aims to get the former president banned from doing business in the state.
And we're keeping track of showers moving across the state, all ahead of our next cold front that'll bring a fall cool down. I'll let you know the timing of the rain and how low our temperatures get coming up in my Weather Authority forecast.
Fox 45 News, winner of 17 2022 Regional Emmy Awards, more than all other Baltimore news stations combined.
(11:08) and taking a look now at your social stream, New York's Attorney General is filing a civil fraud lawsuit against Donald Trump, 3 of his children, and his business. According to the suit, the Trump organization deceived lenders, insurers, and tax authorities by inflating the value of properties with misleading appraisals. New York's Attorney General alleges that Trump lied more than 200 times over the course of 10 years about the values of his assets. Also named in the lawsuit are his children Donald Trump Jr., Eric Trump, and Ivanka Trump, among others. Now, the state is seeking $250 million and to permanently bar Trump and his children from serving as the director of a business registered in New York State. Trump has previously denied any wrongdoing. He has called the investigation a partisan witch hunt. Here's what you're saying about it. One person, nice timing, just to have him taking advantage of the publicity and make more evident that many are desperate to stop him becoming president again. The thing is that everything they do against him ends up favoring him. On the opposite side of that, how does this favor him when they have proof? This has been investigated for 3 years and research showing as far back as 2011, no one is above the law. Perfect timing, actually. The cat's out of the bag. A former Minneapolis police officer receives 3 years in prison for his role in the death of George Floyd. Thomas Lane pleaded guilty to a state charge of aiding and abetting second-degree manslaughter. He's already serving a 2.5-year federal sentence for violating Floyd's civil rights. Under terms of his plea deal, the sentences will run concurrently. Reaction to that this morning, one saying actions have consequences. Another person, in this case, inaction has consequences. Well, the National Transportation Safety Board wants all new vehicles to include drunk driving detectors. If approved, the new safety measure would require all new vehicles to include technology that can detect if drivers have been drinking alcohol or are otherwise impaired. The board also wants new vehicles to have speed-related technology it says could help prevent tens of thousands of fatalities. You've got one person saying, this is a terrible idea. Mandatory alcohol testing for all drivers doesn't make sense when you don't drink alcohol. Another one saying, how is that a terrible idea? I, for one, would love less drunk drivers out on the road. Well, coming up, TikTok is making changes. The new rules for political accounts.
But somebody's not telling you the truth.
A bitter back and forth, a war of words between Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby and Attorney General Brian Frosh. How their disagreements could impact the Adnan Syed case. And coming up at noon, it's Karamo. Then at 1, it's Sherry, followed by Hot Bench at 2. Your time now, 11:11 on Fox 45 News Midday. We are back with a live look over at Towson. Things are dry out there right now, but we are looking at rain on the radar. Meteorologist Jasmine Lomax will break down when that rain will arrive. That's coming up. 11:13 now, a war of words over the Adnan Syed case between City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby and Attorney General Brian Frosh.
Somebody's lying. Whether or not it's the Attorney General or the state's attorney, it's unclear, but somebody's not telling you the truth.
Olivia Dance takes a closer look at the conflicting messages and what it means for the case.
State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby now has less than 30 days to decide whether to retry Adnan Syed, but that's being overshadowed by the tug of war between Mosby and Attorney General Brian Frosh. Right after Syed's murder conviction was overturned, Mosby accused the Attorney General's office of failing to disclose critical evidence during his original trial.
None of that information was provided to defense counsel by either the original prosecutor or the Attorney General's office, where the original case file still sits.
But Attorney General Frosh insists the file in this case was made available on several occasions to the defense. And during interviews in the past, Frosh has insisted the evidence against Syed was overwhelming.
The original podcast suggested that maybe there was some doubt. And the truth is, it's an overwhelming case.
But most recently, Mosby fired back again in a statement that in part says, quote, I think Attorney General Brian Frosh needs to speak to his office's willful decision to sit on exculpatory evidence for the last 7 years. His inability to uphold this fundamental obligation denied Mr. Syed his right to a fair trial and now forces a family to relive an unimaginable nightmare. The statement continues on, urging Frosh to dig deeper, but you can visit our website at foxbaltimore.com to read that full statement. For now, reporting in Baltimore County.
This story, the timeline of Syed's case, and our complete coverage of the events are available at foxbaltimore.com. Making headlines, every single subway car in New York City will be outfitted with multiple security cameras by 2025. New York's Governor Kathy Hochul says each car will have at least 2 cameras. The governor says she hopes that this will deter crime and make people feel safer while riding. TikTok is making changes to political accounts. The platform is now requiring mandatory verification for political accounts based in the U.S. TikTok also said it will be prohibiting all political fundraiser on its short video platform. Walmart, Target, and Kroger are pushing to lower credit card fees. The swipe fees, as they're called, usually run between 1% and 3% of a transaction's final price. It is a cost that stores often pass on to customers. Coming up at 4, a Baltimore City student is beaten in school while his family says they want to get their child out of the district but have nowhere to go. A county student has a broken leg after being hit by a car. Coming up at 5, why a lack of security guards could be putting students in danger. And at 6, a public health clinic has had a dead rat in its window for more than 18 months. And that is just one of the grime issues it's dealing with. How city leaders are working to get the problems under control. You can get Fox 45 News in a flash through your Amazon Alexa or Echo. We now deliver your local headlines and forecasts in less than 2 minutes. If you have an Amazon device, tell it to enable Fox 45 Baltimore. 11:17 and now to today's talking point. A new study finds the average 6-year-old only has 4 friends. A survey of a total of 2,000 parents of children 6 years old and under found that 56% of parents want their children to go back to school to strengthen their social skills. The data also shows that 3 in 5 parents believe the lockdowns generated by the pandemic harmed their children socially. Mark Clark with Be More Lifestyle is here now. And Mark, I do believe that the pandemic just made things really tough for kids and the social skills and that kind of thing. So I'm glad that they're back in school. But I found it curious that they were saying they only have 4 friends. Like how many friends is a 6-year-old supposed to have?
Yes. That, I don't know, this sounds either like a bunch of old folks or somebody who don't have kids. I mean, at the end of the day, that's how many kids a 6-year-old is going to have. With or without a pandemic, four friends, that's a lot of friends.
I know, and I think it depends. I mean, so when you go to school, and my daughter, I mean, she's 8 at this point, but I mean, she'll play with anybody or at recess. I mean, here, there, I mean, everybody. But when she has her play dates and she wants to spend more time with people, there's a core group of them that connect at school. And that's between 4 to 6. Now, she does have another group of friends at other activities. So I think that all has to do with the parents as well. Like, what are you exposing them to?
I have 3 kids and they don't have 4 friends each. No, I'm joking. I mean, it's not a big deal. And the pandemic conversation, I don't understand because, it was called a pandemic. There's a reason it's called a pandemic. Yes, it's going to affect that, but I think we're in a different time. When we grew up, you had friends and you lived in neighborhoods that you grew up together. Nowadays, to be honest, like I said, my daughter's 4 friends each is probably a pretty big number.
Well, as you get to be an adult, I mean, you keep your circle close, nice and tight. Yep.
Right.
All right, Mark. Well, now moving on to your worst weather in America. An incredible image of a storm in the Southwest. We've got meteorologist Jasmine Lomax. She's got that picture for us. Jasmine.
Thanks, Patrice. Yeah, this photo is coming in from Arizona last night, and you can see the beautiful photos of the storm, the desert in the background. Some of those oranges and pinks, a very gorgeous shot. Parts of the Southwest are dealing with storms. They're under a flood watch, but we have our own rain that's starting to push into the state right now. It's all ahead of our next weather maker that's going to come and bring that fall feel right in time for fall. 80 for the current temperature over Towson, and we are picking up on a little bit of rain. Winds are out of the west around 15 miles per hour, so it's a little breezy, and we'll keep that breeze as we head into the afternoon. We're seeing a little more rain toward western Maryland, but we still have sunshine and warmer temperatures in southern Maryland and across the eastern shore. Mid-80s over in Salisbury, but notice the difference in temperatures. We're still in the 80s here, but as we look toward Westminster, we've got the 70s. That's all because of the rain and the cold front currently moving across the state. Here's a look at that front. It's sweeping across parts of the nation, parts of the East Coast, leading to showers. And as we zoom in a little bit closer, you can see some of that rain. We've got those oranges and yellows, some moderate and even heavy rain with that line of storms or rain. As we continue into the afternoon, still looking at scattered showers and areas of heavy rain. Then once we head to about 4 p.m., we're mostly dry. There is the chance for a few showers still along the eastern shore, but we all stay dry by the evening, and overnight we stay mostly dry into Friday morning. That's going to be a gorgeous day, a lot cooler and a little breezy, but we'll have plenty of sunshine for the first full day of fall. We're keeping watch on two areas in the Atlantic Basin, Gaston and Fiona. Those are our two named systems. Fiona is expected to continue to move north toward Bermuda overnight, possibly battering that island as a Category 4 hurricane. Then it continues to weaken as it moves toward Nova Scotia, but it could result in heavy rains and winds there. So that's something that we'll keep an eye on, along with another area that we're watching approaching the Caribbean. 82 for the high temperature today with showers. 70 tomorrow with lots of sunshine, 74 on Saturday. We've got the Ravens game here on our channel on Sunday, that game happening in Foxborough. Then we're talking the 70s as we finish out the week. Back to you.
Still ahead, burning the midnight oil, how staying up late could be doing more than making you tired, how it could be negatively impacting your physical health. But first, amid a nationwide shortage of pilots, United is grounding planes. The inspections the planes must undergo before getting back up in the air. And a big night of all-new TV tonight on Fox. It's MLB baseball. Coverage of the game starts at 7. Then watch Fox 45 News at 10 after the game, followed by the late edition. 11:22 now on Fox 45 News Midday. 11:25, don't miss this. United Airlines is being forced to cancel some flights this week after having to ground planes due to missed inspections. The airline says it is now working with the FAA to get the planes inspected and back in the air. American Airlines says it was targeted by hackers. The airline says some customers and employees may have had their personal information exposed. The carrier says that may include birth dates, names, driver's license numbers, passport numbers. It appears New York City may no longer be able to claim the title of the city that never sleeps. More and more stores and businesses that were once open 24/7 are no longer open around the clock. That change coming since the pandemic. Night owls, or those who stay up until the wee hours of the morning, may be putting themselves at a higher risk of chronic disease. A new study found night owls are prone to type 2 diabetes and heart disease. The reason? Researchers say people who stay up late are often more sedentary, less fit, and insulin resistant. Burning the midnight oil often means sleeping in, which can lead to cardiovascular disease. Time now for your lunch break. They say don't cry over spilled milk, but what about spilled beer? This crash in Florida brewing up trouble for drivers after cases of beer were sent flying across a busy highway. 4 tractor trailers all crashing into one another. One of the trucks was carrying beer and lost its load. Well, that's all we have time for on Fox 45 News Midday. Be More Lifestyle is up next. Mark Clark is back to tell us what they're working on.
Hey, Patrice, a double unmasking during last night's Season 8 premiere of The Masked Singer. We'll show you who was behind the masks and talk about what's to come in this action-packed season. Stick around.